Some of you might be wondering, why, Abdul, do you have a height spectrum on the screen right now? Great question. First and foremost, I've always wanted to be 6 foot. Like my whole life, I've just wanted to be 6 foot. I don't know what it is about 6 foot, but I've always wanted to be 6 foot. My pop tells me I can still make it. Not gonna happen. The reality of it is I am 5'9". That's actually a lie. I'm 5'8 3/4. Only people under 6 foot count the quarters, right? You never hear anybody like, I'm 6'2 3/4. Nope, doesn't happen, right? I am 5'8 3/4. I lie and say I'm 5'9", which is average male height in the United States. Why does that matter? Abdul, we're supposed to be talking about bias. Who knows the story of Warren Harding? Let me back up. Does anybody know who Warren Harding was? A few of us, right? Okay, so here's typically what happens. About 40% of people raise their hand and say, yep, I know who Warren Harding was. There's about another 30% that are kind of like, I think I know. And then there's another group of people, the other 30%, who are who I was until I was in the PhD, and you're like, I have no idea who that is. Warren Harding was a U.S. president. And the story goes about Warren Harding, as he was ascending into presidential candidacy, there was a particular lobbyist who really had an affinity for Warren Harding. And he really wanted Warren Harding to be on the ballot. And this lobbyist would go around and begin his pitch about Warren Harding like this. Warren Harding should become a candidate for U.S. president. Tell me more. Just look at him. He looks presidential. He's tall, he's handsome, fit, wears a suit really, really well. Now, are there other things that led to Warren Harding becoming president? Probably. That was the opening line for this lobbyist who was backing Warren Harding to become a candidate for the U.S. president. Guess what happened, y'all? I'm no U.S. presidential historian, but there are a lot of them, and they almost uniformly agree that Warren Harding was one of the worst presidents in the history of the United States. But he looked presidential. In the United States, just under 15% of men are above 6 foot. 58% of Fortune 500 CEOs are above 6 foot and male. The things like body shape, clothing, beards, hair, so on and so forth, and the immediate associations that we have with them are directly related to bias and how we respond to people, individuals, teams, things. So we need to be cognizant of how those things show up and where the messaging has told us what is good and what is not so good. What is right and what is not right. And we'll talk a lot more as we get into this.